Okay, so after adjusting the line type scale on this horizontal center line, what I wanted to mention, let me just move this view over here so we're a little bit closer. So we can zoom in a little bit closer as well. So we talked about how this vertical hole here, because it's meeting the hole that's here, it's not ending on a flat plane. The bottom of the hole is not flat. It's crossing over a cylinder. So what we can do is we can actually use this right side view here to project some information over about where this actually ends and draw in an arc. So we're going to use the arc tool. I'm going to click here, here, and here. So we're using just this edge to end that. And we'll just come in with our trim tool and we'll trim off these little chunks of lines here. And also the top of this one. You can see that creates a kind of a smoother transition. We need to adjust our line type scale on this curve as well. But again, this is what two intersecting holes would look like when properly drawn in a hidden view like this. Which means, back over here, you can do the exact same thing where we're just trimming this up, sort of showing how those two holes are intersecting properly. Now, last but not least, let's do our top view. So we can get some construction lines going here. Again, as usual, we'll draw some vertical lines from our front view. And while we're at it, let's just start our top view with one horizontal line, and again, we'll use that 45-degree projection line so that when we do something like this, we can send some information kind of up and over. And primarily what we can use this for really is this sort of center line running down the middle. That's going to help us in this particular view. Everything else is relatively easy to create. Let's continue sending some lines up from our front view. Run this one up. Again, we're starting to see the center position of our boss start to take shape here. And we can project the center point for that hole up. And then last but not least, let's bring this bit up. And again, that's this line, this edge being projected up. Let's start with, we've got a 1-inch square here. So let's draw our object lines, and we'll draw along the full length of the object. We'll just draw a rectangle. Okay, we're just going to delete any of those lines that we've already covered here. That's done. Here we have a hole. It was 3/8 of an inch in diameter, so we'll go D for diameter and 3/8. Okay. Here we can bring up, we can actually copy this horizontal hole. Straight up, and again that kind of lines up in the middle. This is going to be continuous, so we're just going to take one of our hidden lines and sort of bring that up and over. We're going to have a visible line here on the back, so we'll draw that in. Which means we can remove, this is going to be a hidden line, so let's draw that in. There. And let's draw in our boss. Okay, so now we're going to include the boss up top here. So we're just going to find, again, we projected the center of the top there. D for diameter, and this is 3/4 of an inch again. I could have also projected these edges up and over and give myself guidance on that, but it's faster to just type the number. And then last but not least on the top here in terms of visible object lines, we have our 1/4 inch hole. We just put 1/4-inch circle there, and again, we're going to need a center line for that. We'll also need a center line for our boss on the top. So let's start with that. So offset 0.1, and we'll offset this 0.1 just to give us a guide circle, and throw in just that vertical center line here. We're not going to do a horizontal one because we already have one for the through hole there. And what we'll do is update the line type scale on this. We'll lower that. Let's try 0.5. Let's try 0.4. That looks good. And I think I'm going to prefer to lower the line type scale on this hidden line as well, so it kind of sticks out a little bit better. Let's drop that down to 0.3. That looks good. Again, one of the things we want to kind of note, in fact, maybe we want to increase this to 0.4. We want to have a gap between these two intersecting hidden lines. We don't want them to touch. So let's adjust this. Adjust our line type scale. Let's try 0.4. Nope, that doesn't work. Let's try 0.5. That works. Okay. That basically tells us that these are not part of the same geometry. All right, so we have, oh, we're missing our center line here. So offset this one, 0.1. We'll just put in our center line real quick for that. 1 there, and 1 here. Delete our guide circle. We can delete these guide lines as well. And then we'll adjust our line type scale. Good way to do that is actually we'll just use the match properties from down here, and we'll just put that in place there. We can delete the rest of our guidelines here. And that is essentially done.